welcome to the November 9th, 2022 Alexandria Bay Village Board Meeting. Roll call, please.
Trustee Stroud. Trustee DeRigo.
Here.
Trustee Fulmer. Here. Trustee Demo.
Here.
Mayor Jarvis.
Here. Public concerns, $60 last year, but was told that it wasn't a mistake, and that was indeed the rule. I'd like to ask for a refund for the $70 from 2022 I paid for this year, and the $60 2021 I paid last year. Membership card was $8.29 for this year. He doesn't have last year's number. This is from David Cushman from Watertown. $130, which his two sons are due the.
That's the rule.
That's the rule.
I'd like to make a motion to refund Mr. Cushman's money.
I'll second that. Motion by trustee Fulmer, second by trustee DeRigo. To refund, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Except for correspondence. Minutes. Everybody have a chance to read the minutes? Have approval for the minutes from October 11th.
I'll make a motion we approve the minutes for October 11th.
Motion by trustee DeRigo.
I'll second it.
Trustee Demo, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye, opposed? Motion to pay the bills, abstract number 5 as presented.
I'll make a motion we pay bills, except number 5 as presented.
I'll second that.
Motion by trustee DeRigo, second by trustee Fulmer. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Trustee reports. Judy.
I don't have much to say. Gregor was going to be here to talk about, the ready, which is impacting, they're working in the water plant, they're working down at the wharf, everything's moving along as far as the ready program is concerned. The other thing that I've been working on, Scott Jaworski, who is a subcontractor for National Grid, is coming next week. He's got information from us regarding EV charging stations and where to put at least, well, one post would be 2 charging stations. We sent him pictures of what I now know is called the Empire Boat Lines parking lot, because I never called it that. So he's got everything he needs, and he's going to give me a call on Friday and let me know when he's going to be in the area to look at it and to give us better numbers as to what the grant funding is for it and what it would cost us. And then the only other thing I have is that the question was, the sirens. I'm working on getting information from Jefferson County and the Jefferson County main office and the fire coordinator for Jefferson County about whether or not they can be removed. That's all I have.
I have nothing.
Nothing. No, I have something.
Okay.
Gordon Courts is undecided when their next meeting, their board meeting is. The board can't agree on a date. I'm an innocent bystander there, so I go with the flow. The tennis courts, pickleball is on the agenda for later. The library's having their craft fair, the same time as this craft fair here on December 3rd. And they are offering different nonprofits a basket raffle. The nonprofits can prepare a basket, and then they're selling tickets for $1, and that's something a little different than they're doing, other than just having the vendors there. And that's on December 3rd. Hearts for Youth has started their intergenerational programs. They did a game night, which was well attended. And let's see, the mayor is doing a jewelry class tomorrow. So, and what we're going to do is we're going to start inviting the 55 plus community in Alex Bay to come and work with the kids after Christmas. We'll be doing probably another jewelry class and who knows what, and we're going to include the older people with the kids who come to our programs after school. And that is that.
Good. We, finished up our, hauling of sand for the season. We had hauled in 800 tons. That'll get my pile big enough where I can break into it in the frost to be able to get something inside of that. I've been trying to get the 1987 L9000 fixed. We had a bad injector pump on it that is actually fixed, put back together, and it was used today. So that is back on the road, running. My guys have been forming the sidewalk and building the bulkheads on Sisson Street, picking up of the leaves with the leaper probably to the very end. I think we've gotten all the big piles, but right now anything that's wet will be picked up with the skid steer along with the branches and bags still. But for now, I think the leaper's probably on the back burner. The boiler inspection went through good. New Hartford insurance company was here, inspected the boilers. They passed, so we'll get our certificate, and we can pass that on forward to the correct people. Bill Gill showed up. All the new trucks, equipment, everything is lettered now.
I think it looks sharp.
So, he did a great job, with them. Overhead door showed up. The company that I called 3 months prior, it was the first one that actually showed up. But it took them 3 months, but, they came in, serviced all of the overhead doors. I got an issue with one, but I think they're just gonna come back and take a look at it. We've, of course, put the sweeper away for the season. And as of yesterday, we did the bathrooms, laid the bathrooms up to the pavilion and the dock. So those are all set up for the winter, so we're looking pretty good for the next couple of weeks.
Before, I need to connect with you. One day, Tim Wagner called me about sidewalk in front of both of his properties on either side of Market. So if we could take a look at it and then we'll give him a call.
Okay.
If he's in the area, he'll be with us, but if not, he might be working out of the area. But I did talk to him and he's interested in doing all his, because he's also going to do his driveways.
That's it.
The zoning report, we had to go to another meeting. Activities for the last month, a letter was sent to 25 Walton to the patient residents about the condition of front porch, asking for removal. The comp plan meeting is next Wednesday to continue to work on updating the zoning codes. Have received 2 sign permit applications, both returned not complete. Filed an order to remedy violation at 8 Greens Creek Road for lack of fence maintenance, that's from Lee Schimmel.
You ran that, letter, how long they got to respond to that?
He didn't say, typically, from what I remember, it's
30 days?
2 weeks to 30 days at the most.
I'll talk to that tomorrow.
Okay. Police Department, from Officer in Charge Joshua M. David. Police Department had 27 complaints, 1 arrest, 0 vehicle and traffic tickets issued, 6 warnings, 0 parking tickets issued, 2 warnings, and 7 building checks. Old business, ready and streetscape projects.
He is here.
Tuesday, they're gonna be pouring concrete at the water filtration plant. They plan on doing approximately 1/3 of that, and mainly so they can get the heating system back up and going.
Yeah, it's gonna get chilly.
Next week will, yeah, I'm sure, it'll be welcome to have that back on next week.
You said Tuesday?
Tuesday, they're gonna pour 1/3 of it, and then right after that, as soon as everything sets up, they'll put the furnace back in. They're gonna start putting the insulation, the styrofoam insulation on the outside of the water filtration plant. So that's starting this week. Light demo is gonna be a couple weeks out. At our progress meeting, we talked about the electrical contractor coming in to demo the existing lights on the docks. The plan is for DC Builders to provide a light for the end of Upper James Street, because that'll be off service. So that's probably a week and a half to 2 weeks out before they start that demo, but we'll make sure you get that light in place. And the shutdown, we talked about the shutdown at the progress meeting. They're gonna try to keep that within 4 hours at the water filtration plant. We talked about it may happen on the 21st, but we're waiting on confirmation from the plumber.
Okay.
So, more to come on that. As soon as we get that confirmation, we'll let you know, so that can be planned. They talked about doing that at night well, mainly because water usage is down during the night. If they can keep it within 4 hours, they may consider doing that during the day. But if it's gonna be longer than that, they'll probably stick with the night schedule. And to go along with that, I have a payment application for DC Builders. I've got the hard copies. We also emailed electronic copy. I've got some hard copies for signature. This is their payment application number 3.
Yep. Thank you, sir.
Do you need a motion to sign?
You kept that under,
Put it later?
number
Yeah, I have
2
it,
on
new business, I have it.
Is that under new business? Okay. That's about all I have on the ready projects. We had a progress meeting last night. Everything is staying on schedule and moving forward. If you've been down the wharf, you can see more progress happening now that the piles have been installed and the knee wall's done. As I mentioned, the structural steels, the main beams are in place and everything's moving forward.
really coming together. I was
Yep.
there yesterday, took pictures, and pretty impressive. It'll be amazing improvement for the village next year for.
Yeah, and the square footage of usable space is a lot more than what you had on the old wharf.
Be very nice. The, streetscape, I drove by Holland Street, and, new railing is on the ramp. We did have a tour a couple weeks ago with engineers, contractor, Department of State, New York State Ready Commission, Irene Holick was here, Charles Pryor from EDR Architects of Syracuse. We still have to iron out an issue with the Holland Street with the pitch of the ramp is greater than a usable degree. Typically, a boat ramp angle is supposed to be no more than 12 degrees, and this is 16.5, so when if you back your boat in, your trailer tongue is gonna scrape all over the place, so that's gotta be corrected. It's, my feeling is this should not cost the village or the town a single penny, seeing as how it's between the engineer and the contractor that somewhere didn't perform a better communication. It's not the village's fault, it's not the town's fault. Somewhere it says that what you take out, you need to put back in, and that's not the case. The also thing is that ramp is 8 feet shorter than what they took out, so that's another part they need to correct.
Are we babysitting them? Because I know they're working now in Otter Creek.
Otter Creek, yes, that, Charles has been up, every other week to take pictures and measurements and,
Make sure.
yes, since the Holland Street, they're paying more attention to it, yes. The only thing that's really messing everybody up and the water business people know is the lack of water in the river. It's, somewhere we need to make a contact with the International Commission that needs to be corrected.
Well, it really, I've heard talk of they're gonna be raising the village dock, right? All and well, but when you have situations like this and you raise that village dock, you're gonna need a 2-stage ladder to get out of the boat. Unless you do a floater,
You need an elevator, yes.
you're not gonna be able, And I'd like to talk about this a little bit. You know, I've been in the marine industry for 45 years. I've been in the boat business for 45 years. I've retired out of the boat business. I know how these docks are and how the water is. You're gonna have to deal with this like, you know, down in Florida, anywhere they have a tide, their docks float up and down, you know? That is totally possible to do that, and
Well,
to have a fixed dock is crazy.
May I say something?
Yeah.
When the meeting was held, and we had open public meetings on it, and then the village board voted, what are we doing? I made absolute sure that it was noted that I voted for floaters. The 4 trustees voted for raising the dock. So, it was, paperwork all submitted, New York State approved it, and that's where we're at.
Just think about it,
But
right?
it's, we can't go back on it, to change it, you know? So,
Well, if you think about this, right?
it's,
You come over at my marina and look at my gas dock and stand on the dock, you can almost walk underneath that dock right now.
it's not just you, it's
No, I know
everybody
that,
on the
but
river,
now
yeah.
picture that with your new dock, that's
I-
already gonna be up even higher, right? They say it's gonna be James Street level. Now, if you ask me, I don't care because I have my own dock.
Yep.
I'm talking about the community and the people being able to use it. Can you see a 70-year-old lady trying to get out of her boat, climbing 6 feet up in the air to get on top? I don't see it happening.
No.
They're really
Well-
gonna destroy a good thing. You know, but it's not, I don't care
Okay.
because I have my own facility, but you're gonna render to, you think the businesses are having a hard time now? Butch has lost business because charging on the town dock. Imagine the business is gonna be lost when you can't use the dock, let alone pay to get onto it.
I
You're gonna
know.
have a big problem.
Thank you, sir.
You're welcome.
Number 2, pickleball court. What was
Anything
that?
new, Jarrett, pickleball?
So I had met with Greg Wills again. The price tag came in at like, it was at an easy 45,000 to put that pickleball court in where it sits. So him and I discussed, and I talked to Cindy, and I know you and Steve had talked. It would be in the best interest to actually take it, leave everything the way it is, and put the pickleball court on the opposite side, where you can just shoot the grade. There's no trying to bring it up the same height as the other tennis court. It's not like you're gonna have any power or anything on that pickleball side. So instead of trying to reinvent the wheel and try to fill that up a foot, have drainage issues, just go on the other side, leave your parking, put the pickleball net on the right-hand side as you drive in. And he thinks that he can work within the numbers that we could work with. So that's where I'm at with Greg. I gotta wait till he comes back. He's in Virginia hunting right now, so, but he's working with me on that, so that's where we're at with that. But he agreed with me, and, it's too much work, and, when we can do it on the other side for probably almost, half, 2/3 of that, that's what we're gonna shoot for, okay?
Makes sense.
And also, putting it on where the tennis court is now, would be a distraction, for a visual distraction, where, you see a ball coming this way, and you catch it out of the corner of your eye. So the pickleball and the tennis people said, yeah, it'd be easier across there, because you're not gonna get that my ball coming towards me out of the corner of your eye. And I never thought about that when we started it. I never even thought about it. So it'd be much better across the driveway.
Yep, I totally agree. Bring in Phil, bring it up, let it set,
Yep.
pack it, do the course, do the final, and then, put in the fence.
Yep.
Anything else under old business? New business?
Mr. Mayor, old business, do you wanna talk about the resolution? So Mr.
Okay.
Burrows can do his meeting, other meeting,
So
sorry.
we were supposed to set a public hearing for today, but
Yeah,
We had
you
11.
won't adopt, so what
Yeah.
you've got is this, your village zoning is covered in chapter 150 of your code. Sign regulations were scattered. Some were in chapter 120, some 50 you adopted, your new sign law you have now, but it provides a mechanism so somebody can get relief from the strict application of the zoning, just like any other provision of zoning. And so, that means your ZBA can grant variances, question interpretation, things like that. So what you have is this, your sign law that you adopted, you've got a copy of it right now, except it's actually numbered to fit within chapter 150, and that's all it does. The text isn't changing, except it's numbered to fit within 150, and what we did was this, under code 150-34, that's where some of those sign provisions were, that's now vacant and available, so we just plugged it in so it fit within 150-34, and if the village board were inclined to do that, what you would do is, you could consider setting a public hearing for your next available meeting. So what I also sent was just a notice of public hearing that if you're interested, you could adopt that. And then beyond that point, following the public hearing in the future, if you're inclined, you could adopt the resolution to simply renumber it. That's what you have, Mr. Mayor.
That'd be December
so it's
13th.
best to do a public hearing at the December 13th with trustee DeRigo, second by trustee Fulmer, to set it 12/13 at 5:15.
Mr. Chairman, may I interject something here real quickly? I spoke with Andy at the county, and he just yesterday sent me an updated version of that. He's got it in 150-80
Yeah.
through 85. And he said he put it up that high to leave plenty of space before that for the revisions that we're gonna try to make to the rest of the code. So I don't know if you got a copy.
Yeah, I got a copy of it, I mean, it's 6 one half dozen of another, but the point really is you've already got, you wouldn't have seen it yet, you've already got section 150-34 that now is vacant. And so all we did was we took the sign law, and we plug it into 150-34 with, sub A's and ones, so it fits automatically in there. And you still have the ability down the road, if you change other provisions in zoning one way or another, you can use it, but I mean, to be honest with you, I would recommend, if you're going to put it in your zoning, so that you have the ability to grant variances and things like that, I mean, 150-34, I think is a better location, just because it's already vacant, and you can fit it in. But it's the same text, the text doesn't change.
Right, it's just a numbering.
Yeah.
Motion by trustee DeRigo, second by trustee Fulmer, for December 13th, 5:15, the 150-34. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, opposed? That carries.
Yeah.
You all set? Molly?
Thank you.
Thank you. New business number 1, chamber events, 2023. Mary? Anything different?
No,
Just looking for another good year.
yeah, definitely. Nothing's changed.
There's always little adjustments here and there on some of the events, right? So,
We appreciate you working with us.
and, looking to add one more for next September that we're working with the chamber, but but you've looked at it, everybody's had a chance to look at the events.
Mhm. I'll make a motion to accept the chamber events for 2023.
I'll second.
Motion by trustee Fulmer, second by trustee DeRigo to approve 2023 chamber events. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, opposed?
Can I
Number-
ask something that I'm supposed to believe you? We've been getting a lot of calls about the ward, when it's gonna be finished. Do you have an idea when that will be?
Well, at the progress meeting, they talked about the concrete pour that they have to do for the deck, and that was all weather dependent. So if the weather stayed like it was today or last week, they could advance that. So we haven't had an update. The weather looks like it's gonna change next week, so I'm
Yeah.
not sure if they're gonna be able to do that big pour. If not, they may leave that until spring, but I think they told us Memorial
Memorial
Day,
Day.
everything will be up and usable.
Okay.
So how much they get
Make sure
done
we're
this
getting the right
year?
information to people when they do.
Yeah,
find
definitely.
out this.
The best schedule right now is Memorial Day to have it up and usable.
Number 2, pay app number 3 for DC Builders. Motion to approve and authorize me to sign.
I'll make a motion to approve pay app number 3 for DC Builders.
I'll second it.
Motion by trustee Palmer, second by trustee Demo. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Number 3, appoint Brad Millett to the comprehensive plan. We have an opening and I'd like to have him appointed to the comp plan.
Okay. I'll make a
Yep.
motion to appoint Shooky to the comprehensive plan
I'll second.
committee.
Who's leaving? Is somebody leaving, just for the minutes, the record? Is someone,
Jeff Tillich had left because of his family situation.
That's right, yes. I knew there was,
okay.
motion by trustee Palmer, second by trustee DeRio. All in favor? Aye. We already talked about the golf course refund at Cushman. Number 5, return taxes Jefferson County to re-levy to the tune of $33,571.95.
And I have a warrant there that everyone needs to please sign for me.
Okay. I'll make a motion to return the taxes to Jefferson County to re-levy $33,571.95.
I'll second.
Motion by trustee Palmer, second by trustee DeRigo. All in favor? Aye. Opposed?
Before everybody leaves, I need to sign it. I have to turn them in tomorrow.
To the village board members, on behalf of the village employees, I'd like to request the board to approve to hold an employee holiday party December 16th, starting at 12 p.m. All employees will work until 12 p.m., then attend the holiday party in the village community room. Christmas Eve is on a Saturday this year. We usually get to leave at noon, with the rest of the afternoon as paid time off. We'd like to request the same day for December 16th holiday party. Holiday party will be funded by the village employees to help build morale for all village employees. Everyone works hard year-round for the village. It's a good time to relax, gather, and interact with one another outside of work duties. There will be finger foods, desserts, holiday games. We have not held the party since before COVID. We have a few new DPW employees that have not had a chance to enjoy the party. We'd also invite all board members to join us at noon. Thank you for your time and consideration. Sincerely, Erica Dust.
I'll make a motion to approve it, to have the party. How does everybody else feel about them having the day, well, before I make the motion, how does everybody feel about the rest of the day off? I don't have an issue with it.
No. No problem.
That's-
Always
then I'll
been a
make the
good
motion.
morale booster.
I'll second it.
Motion by trustee Palmer, second by trustee Demo to approve the party. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, opposed, thanks, Gary. Number 7 is to hire Cody Escudero, a full-time laborer at $18.22 per hour for DPW. He's a good worker.
I'll make a
He's
motion.
believe it.
I'll second. He's the one that's working on
So if I
towards
may, add-
CDL.
yeah, I'll wait for the motions over.
Motion by trustee DeRio, second by trustee Fulmer, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
So
Number-
since this year has began, the federal government has put, restrictions on getting a federal CDL, which means that for a Class B license, there is an approximate $4,000 course before anybody can even go to take their test. They can get their permit, but until they get this $4,000 course, they cannot take the test. A Class A is over $7,000 before you can even go to take your test. So Cody's trying, he's looking into a couple, through the workplace, they have a grant that individuals can get to pay for this through BOCES. And right now, there's one in Canton that he's following, that there's a company up in Canton that is paying, for this course for individuals to try to get people in to get their CDL. So I appreciate the board giving Cody a chance and know that he is still trying his hardest. He's got his permit, but again, until he can come up with $4,000 to take this course, it's been an uphill battle for him, so thank you.
Thank you.
I got a good friend that owns NTTS, and I'll tell you, if you guys want, I could
Thank you.
put in a good word for him, because my buddy, they have a school here in Watertown for drum,
Yeah.
and he does a lot of donations and helps out a lot of people.
Thank you.
If you want, I can check into it for you,
Absolutely.
okay?
Yeah.
Thank you.
That would be great.
Number 8, the set annual meeting date for December 5th, 2022 at 4 p.m.
4.
For our new swearing in, congratulations to Cindy Demo and Sandy Computo for our new trustees. Motion.
Oh, I'll make a motion.
I'll second.
Motion by trustee DeRio, second by trustee Fulmer, for December 5th, 4 o'clock. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Number 9 is G-Works. This is an agreement with G-Works for the water and sewer
Billing system.
billing.
Billing system. Our company, UB Max, has merged with G-Works.
Oh,
So
okay.
they are merging together and pulling all their knowledge and their staff and customers together. Nothing's changing. There's no added fees, there's no added contract or anything. I'm assuming once they've completely done anything and maybe when they update, but by then we'll have a handle probably on what we're doing anyways. But at this time, we just need an agreement to continue our services with the two merged companies.
But this won't negatively impact if we all of a sudden say go on getting water meters and the
Correct.
new system?
No.
Okay.
I mean, we'll have to fill out our yearly till the end of our yearly contract, but I don't see us having all our meters in by then anyways, so we should be fine for now.
I make a motion that, we sign an agreement with G-Works, the water and sewer.
I'll second.
Motion by trustee DeRio, second by trustee Demo to approve G-Works for water and sewer. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Number 10, Hartsview. Hartsview needs to change their January meeting from Thursday, January 19th to Thursday, January 12th. Let us know if this is good. Thanks.
To take December's meeting off the calendar, because we're taking a vacation.
Okay, got it.
December 15th,
Yeah.
I think. Thank you.
That date will,
I have nothing at that point.
Okay, I make a motion, we give, Hartsview permission to use our facility.
Fulmer to approve the Hart Street change. All in favor?
Aye.
Have nothing else. Public concerns. Mr. Vasquez.
Thank you. Just following up from last meeting, first of all, for, the landfill projects over on 9 Rockwell Street, I hope there would be maybe a little more fill over by where it sunk so much by the water fitting, but I'm grateful for what I got. Don't get me wrong, I'm not criticizing. If you ever feel like there's extra dirt around you and dump on there, it's perfectly all right with me. I just wondered also if we had any word back about the internet. I think Ms. Fuller.
I tried.
You tried?
The internet?
Speak with Verizon, yes, sir. And I wondered if anybody had gotten any feedback about this dongle we live in.
Well, T-Mobile, you go online and they call you back and tell you, oh, you don't qualify yet. Now, I guess that's where you are in the village, because I am told that some people do have Wi-Fi through T-Mobile, but at my address.
I can't either, but if you use, the one out by, where Mr. Thompson lives, I guess it goes through, so that's what I'm gonna do.
Use what? The address?
Use a random address. And, cause they're approved over there, so the difference is.
One of the biggest drawbacks with any company is because of the contract the village signed with Castle Cable.
So is that truly the dongle here? I mean, we can't do anything because of this contract? That's why,
That's
why
from,
Verizon won't wire the place, that's why, Spectrum won't wire the place?
Spectrum is because of Castle Cable. Verizon is, well, we don't have a contract in the village yet, even though they ran it down in front of my house. There's gonna be a control panel on the pole across the street from my house, but you can't have it. Watertown Savings Bank has it, hospital has it, school has it, but nobody else can have it.
Well,
But if you go a mile outside the village, almost everybody has it.
Verizon?
Yes.
Well,
And it's, you talk to Verizon, you talk to Spectrum, you talk to any of them.
can't we just say, look, you either serve the community or get out?
No,
Because we're not any worse off without it if they go away.
I mean, you can tell them that, but it's not gonna work. You can't tell that company to get out, yes.
Why not?
Back many months ago, the village board asked me to take a quick look at the franchise agreement, and recollection, what we had was this was like a 25-year contract or something that was, or a 15-year contract that's set to expire in 2025. Now, so that you get a contract for the village and Castle that expires in several years. The contract that was signed was non-exclusive, meaning that if some competitor wanted to, they could come in and they could compete with Castle up until 2025, but the caveat was this. The competitor comes in, they have to do one of two things. They either have to run and pay for their own infrastructure, or they've got to cut a deal with Castle. And so unless they come in and spend the money for that infrastructure, or contract with Castle, they're not going to be able to have the infrastructure. It's not exclusive. Now, after 2025, what happens is it's a different ball game. But unfortunately, I wish I had a better answer, but your hands are tied by the contract from so many years ago. But unfortunately, that's what you said.
So the contract, there's no option for you to disqualify the contract based on the quality of the service and the stifling development.
There, again, going by memory, there are provisions where I'll just say it loosely, if Castle doesn't substantially perform, you could serve a demand on them to see if they're in breach. They could try to comply or not. And if you're successful and they're in breach, then they're done. However, between that date and this date in 2025, if a competitor wants to come in, they still have to run their own infrastructure or cut a deal with Castle.
But they're already wired, so what do they care?
Castle?
No, Verizon's already wired.
That I don't know, but, my best guess is that Verizon doesn't have any incentive coming in right now, but your contract is what it is from so many years ago.
I'll tell you about Verizon. For the last 10 days, my house phone has been dying. They just came in third time today in 10 days. From the pole that my line goes to, going downtown to the phone company, the line is about 60 years old, and the insulation around the wire is paper. So when the moisture gets in, it shorts it out.
It does it to my DSL.
And so Verizon needs to come in and virtually restring the whole village. Now, that's gonna cost a ton of money, and are they gonna recoup it with the small number? You know, you look at the village of Alexandria Bay compared to, let's go to Syracuse, Watertown. They're gonna make more money there than they will here to restring it.
I thought our politicians said that they were gonna wire rural America. How come we've been forgotten?
Oh, that they are. Go out into the town and they're rewiring all over the place, but not in the village.
I can't get it in Plessis.
I don't know about Plessis, but I know parts of Redwood, parts of Queens Point,
Well,
big,
Right across the road from me. How far is that from Martin's to my house? Quarter mile? They have it, right across Route 12, and I keep saying to them,
that just
why
seems-
can't I have it?
That just seems really capricious to me, in today's world. I just don't understand.
and I've called Walzig's office, sent it to Richie's office,
There's supposed to be all kinds of money out there now.
supposed to be,
With
yes.
the infrastructure that's been passed for this internet stuff, and
Well,
here's
whether
the thing
it's,
I see out of it is Castle Cable is gonna get lucrative over it, and everyone else is gonna still be in the same position that they're in.
Right, there's no incentive at this point for Castle Cable to say, okay, we'll let you go. If somebody else wants to come in now, they have to make a deal with Castle Cable, or we wait until 2025. I've talked to Verizon, you know, up the chain, you know, follow the phone number game that they give you, and they will tell you that, you know, this was a month or so ago, you know, that they're still waiting for federal funding, and, you know, then you have this, that, and the other thing, but the primary thing here in the village is Castle Cable. That to come, you know, they don't necessarily wanna run,
I can't understand
all new
how we can
lines.
get held hostage.
Yeah, there's money to rewire us, I mean, that's all,
well,
It's there.
I saw that too, it was in the
it's
paper
there. And
last
that's,
week.
it's government money, I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know why we're not going after it, because it's all been passed and
Well,
set to go.
St. Lawrence County hired a company to work with them to get for the funding that they have for Wi-Fi. So maybe that is something that we need to look into if somebody will come in, maybe surrounding the village, but I don't know if anybody will come into the village seriously until 25.
Okay, I didn't know there was a hard date on this 25 thing.
Yeah,
I
was
don't
it
even
May
care
of
about that.
25? Something like that.
mid-25.
It doesn't, the only thing I don't understand is, you can permit another company to come in and have internet. That doesn't have anything to do with Castle? If they wanna come in and spring a new wire, they can do it?
It's a non-exclusive contract, which means that although the deal is with Castle, it doesn't prohibit the village contracting with another provider.
So is it a question of space on the poles, or is it?
I wouldn't have.
They'll tell you it's money.
Well, is there anybody that's willing to make a motion that have the village write Castle Cable a letter and tell them that we don't think he's performing under the contract, at least jack him a little bit?
Typically, you need letters of complaint
Oh,
from
no,
the
no,
customers.
That was my next
We can
question.
get them.
Yeah.
If I got you a couple hundred letters, will you send it out?
Yes. I mean, I don't know how many it
It
would take,
really
we
is
could
a
look
big
at the number.
problem, you know.
Everybody in this room uses the internet every
You
single
can't
day.
run credit
Every
cards, you can't, there's so much that, you know.
There's,
we have
it's beyond,
customers come in, they got
belief
bills
that
to
in
pay.
this day and age of 2022, this village can't have the appropriate internet service.
I
It
couldn't agree
is
with you more.
absolutely atrocious
That's
for
right.
this village.
And there's money out there for it.
And
We need to
Well,
get
I
it.
just think we need
we
to.
looked, I've called people and
It's
well,
there.
we're in the works, we're in the works. And
You know why
it is a,
West Telecom decided not to sell their place and they're still holding on to it is because they're waiting for the government money. They're waiting for the stuff that's been approved. There's money out there to do it, you just gotta go after it. You gotta be aggressive.
Yep.
Otherwise, you're just gonna go by you.
The unnamed people in the service trucks that you ask about it, what they tell me is, they've got it all wired, it's all ready to go, but they don't wanna pay for the last mile, which is what the government has offered to take care of.
it's,
I'm just
great.
saying, if there's something that I can do about rounding up some complaints, I don't think that's gonna be a big problem.
You do the form letter, I'll fill in my name and address and sign it, and I'll be number one.
Do you call them when, like, I call, like, every weekend, 2 channels that I like to watch have no sound. Public TV has no sound, every
I
weekend.
don't know about the TV end of it, but I don't know if the contract covers TV
That's
and
part
it's
of the whole
intertwined.
thing.
The TV end of it is just as bad as the
Yep.
internet.
Yep.
You'll be watching the Discovery Channel and all of a sudden everything goes
Okay.
out, you miss the best part of the show. I'm serious.
let's
You're
It's
100%
a
right.
bad problem.
concentrate on the internet with
Yeah.
with this.
Because I don't know whether
It's all
those
related.
contracts are.
Of course, they charge you, I mean, I paid $250 a TV to have internet at each one of my TVs in the house. I got 5 TVs. The internet sucks and so do the channels. And that's what we're stuck with.
Yep.
That's not really, it's not right.
So we need complaints, basically.
Yes,
And
We
you
need
will-
complaint
you will-
letters.
If we get those, you will
yes,
send the bully a letter?
yes.
Let's see. I guess that's oh, I did have one question about the sign law. I tried to read it online. You know, I feel like I'm okay intelligent wise, but I could not find the actual, what you have to have, or what the guidance is, how many square feet, how high can it be, what can it be lit with? Is that in there?
Yeah.
Is it under this, 150-34?
No, understand, the old 150-34, that was a very short provision. The new sign law is going to fit within that, it's got a lot of specificity in it. But I'd hand you off to Lee Schimmel, the zoning officer, for the specifics with it.
If you go to the village website,
Yep.
it's on the front page, top half of the front page. Right,
The
it's right,
sign law?
yes,
Well, I'm sorry I missed it then.
it's right
Yeah.
there, and if you,
It's right under the,
Sam, it's 19 pages, it's very specific.
Yeah.
it's right under the
I
picture.
look forward to reading it.
It's here,
it's there.
it's right
Okay,
under,
I believe
it's
you.
right under the picture of the castle.
All right, well, thank you very much.
Mhm.
I'll go and look at that. Good night, thank you.
Good night.
Night.
Any other public concern? You don't need executive, you need to get going, right?
I've got a meeting on Hounsfield.
We don't need executive?
No, that's part fine.
I've got one more thing, Mayor. I brought the agreement to the New York Board
Oh, okay.
application.
We
You
already
approved it at
voted
the
on
last
that,
meeting.
and we need to sign that along with the DC builder
Yep.
afterwards.
So I'll just leave this up here.
Okay. All right. Anything else? Motion to adjourn.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
I'll second it.
Motion by trustee Palmer, second by trustee DeRico, all in favor,
Aye.
opposed? Thank you so much.
You wanna pull out the one that needs to be signed before we open this?